Thakur Vidya Mandir High School and Junior College welcomes all the 12th standard computer science students. Today, we are going to continue with the concept of network architecture from Unit 5 Networking Technology. Already the introduction has been given to it. What is a network architecture? The architectures are designed to solve specific problems and each has physical layout of connecting devices, cables, network cards and protocols. There are two famous architecture. First was the Ethernet. So already we have discussed about Ethernet. So today we are going to learn about Ethernet and its types. So before going ahead with today's topic, that is types of Ethernet, let me first revise what is an Ethernet. Ethernet is a LAN which is operating within a single building. Ethernet can run only up to few hundred meters, but the modern Ethernet can span up to 10 kilometers. Historically, we were using coaxial cable to achieve connection, but nowadays twisted pair cable as well as fiber optic cables in certain Ethernet is being used. Whenever we are speaking about Ethernet, the data that has been transmitted is always broken down into small packets called as frames. Each and every frame will be having the source and the destination address. So whenever that data has been transmitted in the Ethernet cable, all the workstation that has been connected across the cable will be checking whether the destination address matches or not. The workstation whose address matches will accept the data. The other workstation will ignore it. Now, Ethernet connection is achieved in a single building by, yeah, we are going to use a cable which is going to land at the back of the building, and each and every floors we can achieve connection by using a repeaters. So your repeaters plays a very important role in the Ethernet connection. This already we have discussed in detail in the last class. Now how we are going to decide the types of Ethernet. This question is often asked in board as what are the different types of Ethernet, or else explain the following terms with respect to cabling, and they will jot what are the types of Ethernet below. So according to the data transmission speed and the physical media type, there are standard type of Ethernet such as. So the types of Ethernet is decided upon two things. One will be the data transmission speed in the Ethernet cabling, and next will be the physical media. Physical media is nothing, the transmission media which is used for connection. These are the two things which plays a very important role in deciding the types of Ethernet. So the types of Ethernet are 10 base 5, 10 base 2, 10 base T, 10 base FL, 100 base BG. So these are the different types of Ethernet cabling that we are going to discuss today, and we will learn what are the different cables that is being used and how much is the speed of this Ethernet cabling. 10 base 2. 10 base 2 Ethernet cable, in order to achieve connection in Ethernet, will be using thin net coaxial cable. The cables are connected to the network adapter cards with the help of a T connector. The connector will be in the shape of a T. It is a BNC T connector, we say. The minimum distance between the two clients, that is computers, will be just 1.5 feet. Now, when I am using Ethernet cabling using 10 base 2, at that time the network cabling scheme should not exceed 925 meters. So the limitation is given as 925 meters. Now let's understand. This uses thin net coaxial cable. Each network connects directly to the network cable with a T connector. We call it as a BNC T connector. The minimum cable distance between clients must be 1.5 feet, that is between two computers. The T connector must be connected directly to the network adapter. We are not at all using any other source in order to make the connection. Directly the T connector will be connected to the adapter card. The entire network cabling scheme cannot exceed 925 meters. So the limitation is just 925 meters. So here these are few diagrams which is related to our 10 base 2. You can see the first diagram. There is a 10 base 2 adapter which is directly connected to the BNC T connector, and we are using thin net coaxial cable in order to achieve connection. You can also see in the second diagram the BNC T connector which we are using for achieving connection in 10-base-2 Ethernet cabling. Next comes 10-base-5 Ethernet cabling. 10-base-5 Ethernet cabling uses thicknet coaxial cable in order to achieve connection. Second, the entire network scheme cannot exceed 2500 meters. Now here we are using AUI connector in order to achieve connection. The AUI connector will not straight away connected to the network adapter card. It will be connected via a transceiver. So in 10-base-5 cabling we have a transceiver, external transceiver which is attached to the network adapter card. Let's study. This uses thicknet coaxial cable. 10-base-5 uses an external transceiver to attach to the network adapter card. The minimum cable distance between clients must be 2.5 meters. The maximum network length segment is 500 meters. The entire network cabling scheme cannot exceed 2500 meters. So this is the diagram of 10-base-5. You can see here it is using thicknet coaxial cable and there is a small box which is the transceiver and we are using the AUI connector in order to achieve the connection in this Ethernet cabling. So if I am differentiating 10-base-2 and 10-base-5, the first differentiation in 10-base-2 will be it uses thicknet coaxial cable. Here it will be using thicknet coaxial cable. There the minimum distance between two clients is 1.5 feet. Here it is 2.5 meters. In 10-base-2, we are using a T-BNC-T connector. In 10-base-5, we are using AUI connector. Here the entire cabling cannot exceed, that is in 10-base-2, it can't exceed 925 meters and in 10-base-5, it can't exceed 2500 meters. Next, let us 10-base-T. 10-base-T, this uses UTP cable for connection. Now, in UTP cable, when we have discussed this concept in the transmission media, I said the UTP cable is one of the cheapest cable, but there are different categories of UTP, category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. So in 10-base-T cable, we will be using 3, 4 and 5 category UTP in order to achieve connection. The maximum number of computers that can be connected in 10-base-T is just 1024. That is, it just has 1024 nodes. STP can be also used. And since we are using here UTP, the maximum distance that we can cover is just 100 meters. This uses UTP cable. The maximum number of computers on a LAN is 1024. The cabling should be UTP category 3, 4 and 5. STP can be also used. UTP is your unshielded twisted pair and STP is the shielded twisted pair. The cable length is 100 meters and its speed is 10 megabits per second. So we know that UTP twisted pair cable has attenuation. That is why we are limiting only 300 meters. So 100 meter will be the maximum length of my 10-base-T cable. And here we are using RJ45 connector in order to achieve the connection. Diagram. And this is the diagram of 10-base-T. You can see it is using UTP cable. RJ45 connector is being used in order to achieve the connection. So this is all about your 10-base-T cable. And we also have here 100-base-T, which is used for your fast Ethernet. This is the diagram of your 100-base-T. It is similar like my 10-base-T, which is going to use your again twisted pair cable for connection. Now next thing, it is 10-base-FL. 10-base-FL, it is one of the best Ethernet cabling as we can say because it uses fiber optic cable in order to achieve connection. So as we know, whenever we are using a fiber optic cable, what will happen? There will be no attenuation, no EMI, and this will be giving a better communication. So whenever we want to exceed my Ethernet cabling about 2000 meters without any electrical disturbance, at that time we can go for 10-base-5. So 10-base FL is the specification for Ethernet over fiber optic cable. This supports a maximum cabling distance of about 2000 meters and eliminate any electrical complication. Its speed is just 10 megabits per second. So this is about your 10 base FL, and one more we also have, that is 100 base VG, where VG stands for voice grade. Here the speed is just 100 megabits per second, and we can use your twisted pair cable in order to achieve connection. So the twisted pair cable, again, it can be either the UTP or else the STP. So this is the diagram of your 10 base FL, and these are the different cables that are used for Ethernet connection. Most of the cabling you can see inside the RJ connector, maximum there will be the twisted pair cable of different colors in order to achieve connection. So by this we complete the concept of the first network architecture, that is Ethernet. So we have learned with Ethernet and its types. So the next concept that we are going to learn is the token ring. The token ring and the token ring passing method is being studied in topology, that is the ring topology. So let us elaborate about my token ring architecture. The token ring architecture was basically developed by IBM, and it was one of the best network. It is more complex than the Ethernet. It uses two topology. If I am going ahead with two categories, that is the physical and the logical. Physically, it uses star topology, and logically, it will be using your ring topology. In order to achieve connection, we can use either STP or the UTP. And in modern token ring architecture, we can also use fiber optics in order to achieve the connection. So, token ring architectures were developed by IBM as a high reliable network. It is more complex than Ethernet. It uses physically UTP or STP cables and can also use fiber optic cable to extend the network. There are different types of token ring cabling. We have categorized it as type 1, type 2 and type 3. And here the categorization is being done depending upon two things. One thing is the cable and second thing is the area. That is, it is used within the building or within the room, it has been categorized. So let us study. Type 1 uses STP and used within the same building. Type 2, it uses twisted pairs and allowed to use it for both telephone signals and computer data in the same physical area or the room. So within a room we can use type 2. Type 3 uses UTP or STP but for limited distance. So maximum we can say for 100 meters. And type 5 is more famous. It uses fiber optic cable but only on the main ring part. The main ring part that we have discussed, in that only it will be using the fiber optic cable in order to achieve the connection. So this is the introduction of the token ring and the types of token ring cabling as per IBM standard. It's about the ring architecture. So here I am having 4 computers. The computers are labeled as A, B, C, D. They are connected together in the form of a ring, and the data is transmitted in one way. Each and every computer has a transmitter and a receiver. As we know, each and every computer is going to act as a repeater. So let us label the computer as A, B, C, D. So when computer A wants to transmit the data to computer D, it will first give it to B, then C and finally to D. It can't give in the backward direction from A to D. The data is transmitted in clockwise. The data is transmitted with the help of the token. So we know the token. So here in this architecture, each workstation is attached to a control card and all workstations will be functioning in the form of a ring. Each and every workstation here will be acting as a repeater and the data is transmitted in one direction. So if A want to transmit the data to C, it will receive first the token and put the data in A and send it to B. B will check whether the address matches or not. If it is not matching, then it is sent to the downstream workstation, which is nothing but your C station. Now, in meanwhile, for example, if A, when it is transmitting the data to C, at the same time if B want to transmit the data to D, So what will happen when the token comes across B? B will check whether the token is free or it is occupied. So here the token is occupied. So it will wait patiently and then send it to C. And again when the token comes back to B, at that time B will be transmitting the data to D. Each station is given an equal chance to access the token in order to pass the data. So you can see here in the diagram how the token we are using here in order to transmit the data. Role of token ring. Each workstation is attached to a control card and all workstations function logically in a ring. Each workstation in the ring acts basically as a repeater. The ring passes a free token around the ring in one direction. A station in the ring receives the token from its nearest upstream. That is, from A, B will receive the data. Neighbor, when a station receives a free token, it knows it can attach the data and send it to the nearest downstream station, that is neighbor in the ring. So if the token is occupied, it can't transmit its own data. If it is free, it can transmit the data to the other end. If the station has no data, it will receive the data to the next station. That is, it is just going to pass and it will receive the data to the next station. In token ring, each station is given an equal chance to have the token ring and take control in order to pass the data. Token passing. There is a free token which is rotating around the entire network. The computer who wants to transmit the data should first receive the token. The computer who's received the token is given permission to transmit the data. So when one computer is getting the token and it is passing the token to the other computer with its data, source and the destination address, the next computer will check whether the address matches to it or not. If it matches, it will accept. If it is not, it will forward the data to the next workstation. Once the token has been passed, the token will become free and again it will be circulating around the entire network. So let's study token passing. Token passing utilizes a frame called a token which circulates around the network. A computer that needs to transmit must wait till it receives the token. When computer receives the token, it is permitted to transmit. When a computer completes transmitting, it passes the token frame to the next station or the token ring network. Okay, so this is how the token ring works. So here also you can see there is a second diagram which is based on the token ring where we have 4 workstations and the token is freely rotating. So whenever any workstation want to transmit the data, it will take the token and then it will be transmitting the data. So by today, this class, we have completed the concept of network architecture where we have studied Ethernet and types of cabling used in Ethernet, token ring and types of cabling used in token ring. Along with that, we have learned the role of token and the token passing method. The next class, I will be teaching you about the concept of protocol and its